Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hot Zone. I'm your host, Jason Robinson, and in the Hot Zone today, we've got the lead singer and founding member of the R&B group All-4-One, Mr. Jamie Jones. We're going to speak to him about his career, his smash hit, I Swear, new music, and so much more. So stay tuned, because you're in the Hot Zone. And welcome back to the Hot Zone. We are joined by the lead singer and founding member of All-4-One, Mr. Jamie Jones. Welcome to the Hot Zone, Jamie.
What up, sir?
How you doing, my man? How you doing?
I'm good. I can't complain.
Good, very good. Well, listen, man, I'm just so happy to have you joining me in the Hot Zone today. I loved All-4-One for so many years, and I Swear is just like one of the most bangingest songs out of all time. I love the song, so I was so happy, when I found out I was going to get to speak to you. So thanks so much for joining me, man.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
How did All-4-One come together? Like I said, a great group back in the 90s. You guys are fantastic, such soulful voices.
I was at choir rehearsal, and this guy walks in who I'd never seen before. And it was at the end of our choir rehearsal. And I saw him talking to our piano player and kind of pointing at me. So I went over and just said, "Hey, what's up?" You know, he said, are you Jamie Jones, AKA Little Luther? I said, well, the Lord must have brought you to the right place, because that's who I am.
I like it.
He was like, well, I'm looking for a singing group. I work for an independent record label. And my boss has this record that he wants to remake. It's an old song from the 60s.
Right.
And he gave me a cassette. And he said, do you have a singing group? I said, well, I don't have a singing group. I'm a solo artist. But I know every singer in this valley. You give me a few days, I'll put one together.
Yep.
And so he gave me a cassette. I called Delius. I called Tony and Alfred, who I've been singing with. Let them know what was up. I called that A&R guy and said, listen, I got a group. We're ready. So he said, all right. He set up an audition for us. We went to the recording studio where that label was, sang it for them. They gave us contracts on the spot.
Ooh, that don't happen like that many times.
It doesn't. No. We had somebody look it over real quickly, and we were in the studio within a day, maybe a couple days, recording our first record, So Much in Love, which was the acapella song. And that was our debut.
Your biggest hit that I love is called I Swear. Everybody sings it even till this day at karaoke spots. You still hear it on the radio as well. It's such an amazing song. How did the hit song I Swear come about?
After we get our record deal, and our song So Much in Love is zooming up the charts. I mean, at this point, we are from signing our record deal, we're about 5 weeks in, and we were rushing to get an album together. Fast forward, the record is finished. It's at mastering. And Doug Morris, at the time, was the president of Atlantic Records. Now he's over like everything. But at the time, he was the president of Atlantic Records. So he was here from New York at his LA office, and he calls us in. And he knew we had literally, like maybe a day or two, just finished and got this thing over to mastering. And so he says to us, hey guys, let me play y'all a record. So he plays us this country song. I swear by the moon and stars. So we're listening.
Yeah.
And so he says, well, what do you guys think? And everybody was like, yeah, it's cool. And I was like, yeah, it's all right. It's country. I wasn't really in the country. Nothing against it at the time. I like it now, but it just wasn't my thing then.
Right.
And so he's like, I want you guys to sing this song. So we all looked at him, we're like, but that's country, and we just finished our record.
Right.
He says, well, you're not going to do it country, and let me worry about your record. He said, we just did a deal with David Foster, and he's going to produce this. You know who he is? And everybody was like, yeah. And I was like, no, not really. I don't know who David Foster is. Right. He said, well, he's just the biggest producer in the world. He said, and I'm going to get him to do for you guys what he did for Whitney Houston, and I will always love you. And so we were like, oh, okay. But our record's at mastering. He said, let me worry about the record. So literally 2 days later, I get this phone call from David, and he says, listen, my studio, I work out of my house in Malibu. I want you to come to the Holiday Inn on Sunset. It's this big, round, very building off Sunset Boulevard, off the 405. And he said, my driver's going to pick you up and bring you to my house. So I go to his house. I went in first because I was kind of setting the tone, did all the leads.
Right.
And we recorded I Swear. And we all heard the record, and the record sounded amazing.
Right.
But we didn't know because it was very pop, and we thought we were just an R&B band, you know?
Right.
We sent a copy of I Swear on cassette to all the very influential radio stations around the country just to get their opinion. They're playing it off the cassette.
Really?
And back then, they didn't play records off the cassette. Back then, they used to have this 8-track looking thing at the radio stations, and the record companies would have to have that made and sent to them, and that's how they would play the records. They didn't play them off of a cassette. And then next thing you know, we have a dilemma because it's like, okay, your other song's about to go number 1.
Right.
But radio stations are starting to go off of that one to play this one. Within 5 weeks, not only did we enter the charts, we entered the charts at number 72, and at number 70 was the country version. And within 5 weeks, it went number 1 and stayed there for almost 3 months. We tied with Elvis Presley at the time of having the 3rd longest number 1 single in Billboard history.
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. It sounds like it was kind of a problem, but a lot of people would like to have that problem. They got this song number 1, or going to be number 1, and now they have another hot song. It's like, that's the best problem in the world to have.
Listen, I would love to have that problem again right now. I'm like, hey, come on, God.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds just did something on TikTok where he was lip syncing the words to I Swear. How much of an honor is that to you and to, All-4-One to have people like that, just honoring your song and doing lip syncing to that?
It's amazing, man. I think it was like one of his first movies, Just Friends. In that movie, they had him in this kind of Professor Clump big suit. And he was singing I Swear. So it was like one of his very first movies. And it was one of these things where everybody kept saying to us, like, yo, did you see this? And so finally we saw the movie and it was hilarious. And him, lip singing I Swear. And now, fast forward, it's been, I think that movie was at least 15 to 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. Now he's doing it again. Right, and I guess that was his first TikTok or something from what I understand. I think it's pretty cool, man. It's, I think as a musician, you always want to have one of those, not only those career-defining songs, but some of those songs that attaches itself to people's memories.
Xbox is doing something with you guys, like Xbox's new gaming thing. What's going on with that? There's like a remix on that for I Swear?
Yeah, basically towards the end of the whole quarantine thing, our manager, Hannah, had hooked it up for us to do this thing with Xbox. And basically what it was they have their new console gaming system and this whole gaming package that goes with it. Okay. And they wanted to do this MTV style 90s music video. So they talked to us about basically doing a new version of I Swear called It's All There. So all the Xbox and the games and everything you want, it's all there. Yeah, exactly. So we flew out to Oregon to this beautiful mansion and did, like I said, a 90s style video where we're sitting on the car, sitting on the stair steps and at the piano, and surrounding this girl who's playing her game. So it was a lot of fun. And plus, I might be in my 40s, but I'm from the video game generation. I had the first everything on my block. I had the first Atari, ColecoVision.
Atari 5200, brother.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, Commodore 64.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nintendo, Super Nintendo. So, I still play games. So it was like, that's kind of dope, to be a part of something like that. We've been blessed with our group that for 28 years, I'm not going to say we get along on everything, but we've never had that knockdown, but let's take this outside argument. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We've always had that respect for each other that, okay, yeah, maybe we don't always agree, but I respect you enough to agree to disagree with you.
Would you say that's the key to the longevity of All-4-One? It's the respect that you guys have for one another?
Yeah, I just think, men in general, all men, I think the most important thing to every man in this world is to feel respected, no matter what your stage in life is, no matter where you are. You want to feel respected. We all grew up very similar. So we all grew up with military households, but we all grew up in the same type of background. We all grew up in church. We all grew up with the same musical aspirations. So a lot of how we were all raised and brought up was exactly the same.
What future projects can we see from All-4-One, and maybe any solo projects that you may have on your end as well? What can your fans look forward to from both the group and...
Well, so I'm a music producer. So when I'm not doing All-4-One, I have a production company called The Heavyweights.
Yeah.
And I've been very blessed and fortunate that I've worked with a lot of folks, from doing Tupac records to Wayne Brady to Lil Wayne. Like I've worked with a lot of folks. And I've been putting together some music on All-4-One.
Wayne's a great guy. I interviewed him a while ago. Great guy. Love Wayne. Yeah.
Oh, that's my best friend in the world.
That's my guy. I love him.
And I'm working on new music with Wayne right now as well. But I've worked on some music for All-4-One that, we'll see when we're I think we're probably gonna look at maybe towards the end of the year, maybe to release it. And then I've actually been working on a solo project. And I just released my first single off of that, called Sunny. And Sunny is an old song from the 50s. So it's just one of these like feel-good R&B records. I just think that if you listen to the record, it's going to be hard for you not to smile. So far, the love and the feedback has just been amazing. Putting one foot in front of the other.
That's it. And that's all you can do, man. Just keep striving, keep doing your thing. And, I followed your career for so long, and I love All-4-One. And I love what you're doing solo-wise, and it's great that, you can step out, do your solo thing, so can they. And then at the same time, you guys are still working together as a group.
We're excited. We are back on tour, so you might see us at a city near you soon. We have a lot of dates coming up.
Okay.
And, we're just out doing our thing.
Thank you so much for joining me in the Hot Zone, Jamie. I mean, seriously, it's great having you. Tell the guys I say what's up. And, everyone will be looking out for you guys on tour, and obviously your new solo project. So congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun. I enjoyed hanging out with you.
Well, listen, you got to come back soon, all right?
All right. Love to.
Sunny. Yesterday my life was filled with rain. Sunny.
What up, y'all? This is Jamie Jones from the group All-4-One, and I am in the Hot Zone.